Hey everybody, it's the first of the month, so you know what that means. It's time for the next episode of Thirds on First.
Okay. Yeah, we're not ready.
Bacon!
It's Thursday, but we're not ready.
We're still not ready. I
We're
need
still
to
not
blur
ready.
the kitchen.
I wanted to I really wanted to capture the real to be very clear. Like good morning. I haven't said really hello to either of you. Good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Oh, I have my new glasses on.
Those are cute.
Oh.
For better
I
hallway
like.
vision.
I
Oh.
like those. Those are super cute.
Yeah. Chris was not happy about the bill, but yeah. Whatever.
Where'd you get them from?
It's a medical necessity.
And they're the progressives too, so they and I didn't even know that progressives can have 3 zones.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got
What?
Distance, computer, and then close up at the bottom. I have arrived at the
So
geriatric.
are you used to doing the up down thing?
I'm getting there. I have sunglasses that are progressives because I wanted to be able to read my books while wearing sunglasses at the pool, but also to see people. So I have sunglasses that are progressives, but not, these are my first real pair of glasses. And I was just doing too much of watching TV and then putting on other glasses to do something and then putting on. So these are now my grown up. I've, arrived at firmly in middle age glasses.
You're an old adult now.
Didn't you have LASIK?
It wears off.
You know?
It does.
Wait, what?
Over 11
I did
years.
20 years ago.
Really? It's been that long? Jesus.
So LASIK isn't you don't touch it up, and it's not permanent, obviously.
I guess you can. My understanding is it just kind of restarts the clock. It just kind of resets your eyes, and then wherever they would have gotten to, it just, the cycle starts again. I mean, maybe LASIK now is better than LASIK that I got 20 years ago, but yeah.
It wasn't really 20 years because I felt like we knew each other when you got it.
I thought I was still in law school. Was I not still in law school? Maybe it was 15 years ago. It was pretty soon after it was definitely before I moved to DC. I mean, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember you ever having glasses.
Yeah. Age comes to us all. So, well,
my knee has given on me.
What happened? Your knee?
Yeah, literally every time I stretch it, it pops. And it kind of hurts. What's going on with my body? I have arthritis in my knees.
Okay.
But literally all last night, I kept stretching my leg out to make my knee when it's tight and you stretch it and you have that pop. Yeah, it's constantly for the past 2 days.
Have you tried icing or heat or anything? Ace bandage?
No, because I really like them. But I also think it's a sign of my body being we're tired, and I don't think you are absorbing that, lady. So let me show you.
Right.
Yeah, right. Let's manage
physically. Did you do your 50-mile Peloton ride?
No, that's not till April.
Okay. I mean, but you've been training towards it.
I've been doing Power Zone training, but I actually haven't even, and I also wonder if this is part of the problem. I haven't consistently ridden in 2 weeks.
Oh.
Wow.
So I'm wondering if that's actually part of the problem. I've probably ridden twice each week for the past 2 weeks.
Do you cross train?
I do weight. I do boot camp weights 3 days a week, and I do just rides 3 days a week.
But do you stretch and stuff?
After everything.
Okay.
43.
Did you stretch though? What's that girl's name? Hannah, whatever her name is on the Peloton. But did you stretch though?
Yes, there's 2 Hannahs. Did you know there were 2 Hannahs? Because I keep accidentally.
It's the Hannah that goes It's that Hannah, the Broadway Hannah. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't deal with her. I do baby hair Hannah.
No, I do the.
As the non-Peloton third, that is like the equivalent of Phoebe running like this. What is that? Like, I can't even imagine what that has to do with riding your bike. But
She did she do the Meg the Stallion ride? Yes.
Oh, I don't know.
And she had a ponytail and she was flinging that thing. And I was like,
I heard, I don't even know. I heard that she's like a Broadway like girl or something, and so she gets a little like, hey, she gets a little affectatious when she rides. But anyway.
I'm trying to go through all of the instructors, but
Okay. Well, hey, okay, so A, your mic sounds funny.
my mic.
You sound a little fuzzy every now and then. Are you using your big giant microphone that you made me buy?
see it.
There it is. And then I think we should probably say for the viewers, like, if it wasn't already obvious, we have no plan today. We
being thirds. This is us.
This is Thirds Day, and we all sort of thought we were trying to remember. We had a plan, and this is what happens when you try to plan 2 episodes at once. By the time you get to the second episode, you forgot what it was you're supposed to talk about. So we said, well, we're just gonna party and bullshit. So here we are.
This is our normal conversation.
Speaking of partying, though, I do want to acknowledge that it is kind of still our third anniversary. So.
Our third anniversary.
Yes, because
we went down to Miami for your birthday.
And this means we are 14. And so next year we will be 15. And I think we need to take this quinceañera on the road and do something because the world should be open. I'm just putting it out there.
What are we gonna do? We're not doing that.
That's not a good quinceañera. Oh, y'all, you know, we could look like just go with it for a second. So last night, I don't know why. Okay, so Friday nights are like, hi Bear. I think I saw like a foot or something.
You're in headphones. She can't hear you.
So last night, Fridays at our house are fun Fridays, right? Which for some reason on Saturday mornings, it looks like I've had a frat party. So it's like there's been a little too much fun. But anyway, so the little one goes to gymnastics. And so she's at gymnastics from like 4:30 to 8:30 on Friday nights. And so the rest of us, the 3 of us, have to figure out something to do till she gets home and we can do our pizza and movies. And so we were watching like RV America or something like that, and like watching these people go and buy RVs, right? Either because they want to actually live in them, which no, or they want them for fun and tailgating and all of that stuff. And I looked at Chris and I was like, I never even think about the flyover states. Should we like go to the Grand Canyon, or should we go to Yosemite, or should like this looks kind of fun. You just so we could do we could do a thirds road trip in an RV.
You do know that the moment you said RV, I flashed back to Miami and the tour bus.
Oh gosh, let's not even.
We're not.
It'll be much nicer than that. It'll be very, very much nicer than that. It'll even have air conditioning. Yes. So that's a story for another day. So
way another day.
That's my content. We could also, there's also I'm trying to get like a groundswell in like my family for us to go on there's like a Ritz yacht experience.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
It's like, really, really, really expensive. It's like, like the bargain basement price is like $6,000 a person, but it's really, really nice per person. That's like $12,000 for one cabin. But it's really nice. And they only have like 150 cabins on each cruise and like a max of 300 passengers. So there she is. Oh, she looks so grown up. Aww.
I need your plate. She just handed me a piece of French toast to cut.
Oh, I thought she gave it to you to eat.
No, I have some.
You need.
Got it. You're mommy. You could do anything. You don't need a knife or a
Apparently, I
blade.
can't do anything. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm so
Kim
down.
K.
Okay, but yeah, I'm so down. I can't
Where
believe
does
it's gonna
this
be
rich
15.
yacht go? Is it different?
It's there's a lot of Mediterranean cruises
Okay.
that they have, but it's from what a lot of European cruises, and then I think they have some Caribbean cruises as well. So we'd have
Okay.
to look.
They're
But
all like pre-pandemic. I was also interested in East African Yacht Week.
I don't know
if
anything
was
about
still
that.
a thing, but it seemed hella cool. Yeah.
That sounds
I
very.
don't know. I think the world is our oyster.
I think anywhere in the world that isn't Richmond or DC would be fantastic. Really,
And there is actually the answer.
right? Like anywhere but
Not here.
Anywhere
Not
but here. Yeah, let's take. Oh yeah, we got. Okay, so that's great. We'll
We
make.
should
We gotta
celebrate
take it on the
this.
road.
Mhm.
We should take it on the road. And we should find, but when we have to be careful because you remember our anniversary is college spring break.
All right.
I mean, I'm sorry. Most of the college students are not going on Nicole's Ritz yacht. I'm just gonna put that.
Or like any of them. Not, if they are there, I'm mad. Like no, because you need to earn that shit.
Honestly, if they're there, let them have it, right?
Nah, because if they're there, they didn't earn it.
They got a
They ain't
different.
earn it at all.
What's the girl's name? The little Kardashian girl with the makeup. What's her little name? Kylie. Maybe she could go, right? Because she's made money of her own. But if you haven't, you cannot go if you have not made your own money on a yacht
No.
cruise.
This is
not
not
allowed.
your space.
You cannot come.
Nicole's rule. I don't know that that's how it works, but we'll see. We got a year to figure
We're
it
gonna
out.
see how this thing goes down. So what you been up to? What's going on?
Sean?
I was a lumberjill this week.
Not a lumberjill. I love
That
it.
is brilliant. It's brilliant. By the way, I'm also
As my mom put it, Paul your bunion. So,
Bunyan. Tell us about it. Tell us about it. What I think I saw something on social media, but I didn't get the chance to really absorb
so
it.
we had an ice storm months ago at this point, and a tree limb fell in my yard. And I reported it to the city because like it's right on the boundary line, but also it fell right by where the trash pickup happens. And so like they do bulk pickup. And so I thought, okay, will you guys pick it up?
Right. It's right here, conveniently placed.
Right? I was like, I don't have to do much at all, but could you come remove it? And so they're like, yes, it will get picked up. We do it bi-weekly. The next one is, like the beginning of March. Like, cool. So it didn't get picked up. It hadn't got picked up the time before. And so it's like, okay, I'm guessing you're just not going to pick it up because it's unwieldy. So it's like, well, maybe if I can just saw it up, then I will, I can put it in the trash and you can at least haul off that part. And so I have a crepe myrtle tree in my backyard and I would have someone come and trim it back. And one time they left this little like hacksaw kind of a thing.
like a parting gift, like here you go.
Yes, and I reported it. They just never came back to get it, and so I had it. So it's like, well, let me try and see if that works, and it did. So I cut it up to a manageable size and got everything I could in the trash bin.
Is
Yes.
it an electric hacksaw or did you?
No,
literally-
it's by hand. It was real.
Oh, are you?
It's kind of like a large knife, in all honesty. Like hacksaw feels excessive, but
You
it
basically cut a tree with a knife.
Are you sore? Were you sore?
I did an Epsom salt bath because I'm a woman of a certain age, and I thought, let's take a preemptive strike. So, I don't know.
That's incredible. And we have to like somehow put like the pictures in the show notes or something because like, I saw like a huge bin of logs that you had posted.
Yes.
On
This
social,
was
and I was
not-
like,
Now, the funny thing was, like, so all was left was like the actual like large body of the limb, and I felt like you could easily get that in. They still didn't take it.
"Are you serious?"
Still didn't take it. So now I gotta like saw that up or
That's
get them on the
You
holidays.
can call and be like, I'm a small woman who lives alone. Can you please come? I mean, what does the sister need to do? I done chopped it up with a butter knife. What else do you want from me?
Like it is possible, but
Oh my gosh, that's
but
nuts.
that was my venture into new quarantine activities. Living
Wow.
on the land.
No.
You're living
Mm-mm.
on the land. Are you gonna live off the land now too, or just on it?
Just on it. I'll
Well-
stay on the grid and live on the land. That's how I do things.
Oh my gosh. Well, our gym is continuing to get built out. It's almost done.
I can't wait to see it.
It's gonna be so cool. It's got
Did you put like a mirror wall up?
we are waiting on the mirrors to go on the wall. I'm wondering if I could even find a picture, but it's got Chris installed the TV on the wall. We've now got can you see that barn door? The barn door
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
to the back
What
part.
kind of flooring did you put down?
We've got those like, I guess they're like 2 foot by 2 foot, gym flooring squares. Chris is going to put those down. The handyman's coming back to do a little bit of patchwork today. He's going to do that. And then Chris installed, like, we have a nice fan that's up in the corner, and he's got the TV in there. We kind of got the weight set up, and we'll get the mirrors in. My Peloton bike comes on Tuesday. I can be part of the cult. Waiting on my Nike shoes. I ordered them and they came, and I was like, these still feel tight. So I sent them back and got a bigger size because I just don't.
They dropped some new colors today too.
Today, don't tell me. I don't want to know. That hurts my heart. Anyway, don't say that. I saw that. I read your lips on that.
But can you return your too tight ones?
I did. I sent the 2 tight ones back, but I already ordered the replacement.
They're too tight.
Now you're
ones
gonna
did
make me have to go look. But anyway,
They said they're too tight too.
I'm gonna have to go and look. So we'll get the bike in there. My good girlfriend Christy, she was tired of looking at her treadmill, so we got her treadmill. We're gonna put that in there, and then it's just a matter of like carrying my fat ass down there and using the shit. So we gotta see what we can make it do. But if all else fails, just because here we are being really real, I'm gonna get cool sculpting later in April.
Does that work?
I don't know. I'll let you know.
They say it does.
They say it does.
Say you can actually do it at home with ice. It's just not as exact a science.
Yes.
It sounds like at home I would be like, that's cold, never mind.
Yeah.
But
No.
thus making it not an exact science.
Right. It's just a little, there's a little jiggly there that I would like to have less jiggly. So I'm hoping the Peloton and the cool sculpting together will and Chris is like, well, are you trying to look like a young person? No, I just want to look good for my age. I don't want things like shaking around out there. I just want to keep them all together. That's it. So I'll report back on the cool sculpting.
Report back on the cool sculpting.
for the next-
That would be interesting.
What's up with you, 1/3? What's going on? You had a vacation recently, I think, or at
I
least
did, but it wasn't like I realized I'm more tired than I thought. That's the best description. So Zoe was gone for the week for spring break. She's with her dad, and I left town on Tuesday, came back on Friday, but we had a big grant application that was due on Thursday, so I actually was working. Like Tuesday, I didn't really work. Wednesday, all day I worked. And then Thursday morning, I got up, reviewed the application one last time. We had all looked at it. I just wanted to look at it again and then let it sit, and looked at it one last time and turned it in on Thursday afternoon. So I really worked half of the time.
Oh,
And then like this week I've gotten, when I tell you I've gotten nothing done, like nothing, nothing.
because you're tired.
Because I'm tired.
I
Like,
know what you mean.
and I don't know if it's just I'm tired. I think it's also like we've been home for a year. So like I'm tired, like not just like, oh, I need a break, like because that was literally my first break
Yep.
last year.
Mhm.
Because when we went to Ohio to see my grandparents, that was a trip. That was
Right.
me and my mom and Bear driving up there to go check on my 90-something-year-old grandparent. Like that was a trip, and it was good, but it was a trip. So I haven't had a vacation, and I'm just. And did I tell you about when I went to massage therapist? What happened?
Nah.
So I finally went back to my massage therapist because I'm scary. So I was like, even though I trust her. So I went and I did Thai body work. So I didn't actually do a massage, I did Thai body work. And it was 90 minutes. And she was like, so when you come back, I need you to do another 90 minutes. And I'm only going to work on the back side of your body. Like you need to be face down.
Wow.
And she said it's like my muscles are so tight and she said I can tell you control a lot because you couldn't like I couldn't relax
Mm.
Right.
at all. Like I was trying, and she'd be like, "I got you. Like just relax." And I'm like, "I'm relaxed."
Mm.
How about now?
Right? Is that better? I don't know. I couldn't. Like I can't. My body's just like. And so that was a whole like emotional thing for me to sort of wrap my head around of like I have to make so many decisions all the time and do so many things all the time that I really don't have a space where somebody else is taking that on or I can just not be responsible. That doesn't exist for me right now. And so
Yeah.
that's hard to do. It makes it hard to rest.
Right.
So I'm making it a point to do that monthly, just to sort of help me with that. And then, despite me sitting here eating bacon, I am doing. I'm going to try this foot. Have y'all done that ionic 5-foot foot detox thing, where you like stick your foot in some water and it's got something in it and it gets all the impurities out through your feet? And the water turns like gross.
I've heard of
I
this.
think
I've never done it.
I think I need that for my new puppy because his feet smell like Fritos. But continue on. We haven't even talked about Joey yet, but we will.
I can't wait to talk about Joey. So anyway, I'm doing that today, and I'm curious to see what comes out of it, and maybe that'll help too.
Now, is this a thing you do at home, or is this something you go somewhere to do?
You go somewhere.
Okay.
Y'all know I'm doing stuff at home.
I was like, maybe I just
gross.
put some stuff in a bucket and I could do it myself. But
Right.
oh, you gotta report back on that.
Yes.
I will totally report back.
Yes.
I
will say too, on the relaxation front, I know this isn't a solution for the larger problem, but for the retention of the stress in your muscles, I use a Jade biomat, and it's like body size, so it's a heat mat and it has infrared heat. And so it like goes through your entire body. So it's like, but it's also like, it feels good, right? So you can like lay on it and just kind of, take your 15 minutes of grace, relaxation, decompression, and be on that. And it's so it's like the mental and the physical decompression.
You're going to send me the link and then we'll post it in the show notes.
I will. Yeah.
And I just ordered something too. I mean, and we talked the last time about that I've had chronic back issues. So like I feel you, and I feel you. I feel you. I just ordered because it's just started to get to be a lot going to acupuncture once a week and the chiropractor once a week and trying to be, working full time and the whole thing. But anyway, so I'm like, I'd like to pull that back to every other week. I ordered these they look like those yoga circles or whatever, but there's a company called Chirp, and you roll on this circle thing, and it's supposed to get right into those muscles, which kind of approximates what my physical therapist would do to help those muscles relax. So I ordered those. I'll report back on those too. Yeah, but also acupuncture, I feel like was the
need to go back to acupuncture.
That's what really I feel like made the most difference. My acupuncturist she does the acupuncture and then she does the cupping and the cupping it just made all the difference in the world for me. So that's something to consider also.
And I need to go back to acupuncture because I've been going to Sean's acupuncturist, who I really love. And like it helped a ton. That was where I've been saying this, and people have been like, how do you even know that? That was where I discovered that I can't digest raw vegetables.
Oh, yeah. Same. I mean, she'll tell me there are periods where I need to avoid it or at least lightly steam them because it's like a stress response.
My body can't handle
Oh,
it.
I was saying, is that because you were farting on the table? Or
no, and it was the
all your
same thing. It was like all your energy, and it was the first time I went, and she was like, you know, she checked my pulse, she looked at my tongue, she asked a couple questions, and she's like, "Are you feeling this, 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 and this?" And I'm like, "Why do you know my life?" And then like she was like, "Yeah, that's one of the issues." And every now and again I can, but I still really can't. And I went to her pretty regularly, and then she was like, "You're good. Like you don't need to come at that cadence." And then we just sort of scaled it completely back, and I haven't been. And that's one of the things I was like, I need to go back to her because one, it was just very helpful, and it helped relieve a lot of the stuff that I was kind of dealing with. So.
Yeah, but I feel what you're saying though from the, there's the symptoms and then there's the underlying root of the issue. I mean, you are a single mother. There's just no changing that. And you have a young child, and you have a human child, and then you have, professional children. Like you've started all these ventures, and you're having incredible success, but like there's an enormous weight on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Like I'm struggling. The thing about like success and having all the things that you want in life is that those things can bring a lot of stress, having kids and, career and all that. And this is the first day, today will be the first day I've had a full day off in a month from work. I've worked every single day for the last month, at least a few hours. And so I finally got a hold enough on my workload where I was like, I can take this weekend off, right? Because like my in-laws are coming next week. I told you my house looks like I had a frat party last night, and we got to get all of that ready, right, for them coming next week. And I got 2 other heads of hair that need to be washed this weekend, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't ever stop. And so that's where I'm trying to find out, like, how do we like, how I have such a hard time carving out time to say, okay, this time is sacred, and I'm going to guard it, and I'm going to use it to read a book or sit and stare out the window or whatever it is, because it always seems to me in that moment when it's like I want to get to that there's something else that I actually decide it's actually more important for me to clean the bathroom right now, that I really can't relax until I get that done.
Yeah,
but
like
that
there's a
never
running
ends.
to-do list.
It never ends.
It's just a running to-do list. But I used to feel like I was starting to get a handle on it, right? And that's like the cycle of life. You start to get a handle on it, something changes, and then you've got to like reset. And so I get that part.
Yeah.
And I was good about like, nope, I don't do meetings on the weekend. No, I'm not doing it. I'm saying no, I've gotten good at it. My brain isn't shutting off. And when I sit to quote unquote relax now, it's not that my brain is going so much, it's that I'm so exhausted, I literally can't do anything. Like when you get to that, and you're just like, and watching TV is not interesting. I don't know if I've reached the end of TV, but I'm bored by it. But like, I want to read a book, but that requires my brain to be on, and I don't want to do that either, right? And so I know how to protect the time. I just don't know what to do in that time because I'm so, like, I feel like I'm almost like a zombie like at times.
You feel like you're almost what?
Like zombie-like at times, just sort of like that's where I am this week. Normally I can be like, nope, I'm chilling. I'm just gonna go at my own pace. I'm gonna sit and take a bath. I'm gonna go do my yoga. Like those things had worked really well. and and that was just a matter of being like absolutely not reinforcing boundaries
Mm-hmm.
and not feeling and not allowing myself to feel guilty about not doing something
Mm-hmm.
because I can just close the door to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll get back to it. So like let's say Sunday is typically my day to do nothing. So on Sunday, I might see, oh, I really should clean up the house. But it's my day to do nothing. And in order to commit to that, then we're not going to do that. So if there's a particular room that I'm like, I really want to get to that, I just close the door. My compromise to myself at times is I might work really hard on Saturday to get everything done.
Yeah.
Or I might wake up really early on Sunday and say, you have an hour and you can do that stuff within this hour and then it's over.
Right. Yeah. I think I need to make that, continue to try to make that transition. But I feel like I've been trying to do that for 10 years.
It's a practice, right? It's not a one and done type of thing.
Yeah.
And like Sheeta said, like it all kind of works in this balance. And then when you change one piece, it's not like you only change that piece, like then the whole piece, gets reshuffled. And so
True.
like I feel like, and I think part of it is like spring energy just coming in general, right? I mean, because I was talking, I've been doing weekly check-ins with my Talkspace therapist just to be in the practice of, even if it feels like it was a regular week, I don't have anything major to share. It's almost just like a journal to her, like this is what happened in the week, just to be in the practice so that when there is a shitty week, I can, I will know, go ahead and reach out. But I was telling her like last week, I was very off schedule. And part of my going back to work was creating this schedule for, the day in the week. And this is what I do. And I got off of that. And it made me nervous initially. But then I had to realize, like, you can't just trade one set of rituals and practices for another, right? Like that misses the whole point. Like you got to get to the root of like, I've changed my outlook on it and I've changed my commitments. Like I was doing all of these new rituals to be in alignment with my new goals. But if I'm not really honoring the goals, if I'm just doing these things, right? Like even though they're good things, then I'm still missing the point. And so like when there were times where I was like, I'm just tired, I'm not going to clean the bathroom right now, or like church is online, I'm not going to make it at 10, I'm going to watch it at 5, like because I just need to sleep. Like I had to say, no, like listen to your body. Like that's the whole point, right? Like what the big goals are. Like the little day-to-day stuff was to get you in a good groove, was to kind of get you in a space of changing your habits and building up that strength to be able to do it free flow. But like I just had to be like, no, like you can do it. Like just because you miss it today doesn't mean you won't do it right tomorrow. But but it has been a thing of like, I've also realized, I was having this conversation with my mom about something work-wise. It was like, yeah, like I had it, I could have done it, but I knew I was not in the space to do it efficiently. And so I went and did something else. And she was like, well, I would just want to get it done. And I was like, yeah, I get it. But I was like, it would have taken me 3 hours to do something that should have taken 30 minutes. So it wasn't useful. Like, no, like, just don't do it right now. Like, you don't have to. And like, yeah, like you can't necessarily always turn off the running list, but you can manage how you deal with it. And I think a lot of it for me has been getting to the point where I'm actually listening to my body, like honoring the way the energy seems to be moving, and just, because there'll be times I'm like, oh, I want to watch this show. And then I turn it on, I'm like, nope. Like you're saying, like, I have no interest in doing this. And I'll just like, before I even think about it, like I've cut the remote off and, I'm off to the next thing. Like you can watch it or you can never watch it. It'll be fine. But, there's certain things that have to get done, but all
Yeah.
of it you don't. And so I
And
mean,
like it'll be weird things. So like I'll be sitting around like, oh, I should clean up that part, right? Like
mhm,
I need to just, and it's not even like if anything takes that long. It's just like I need to put these things away. And I will stare at them all day. And then I'll get on the phone and like I clean everything while I'm
mhm,
having a 20, 30-minute conversation. I get it all done. It's the
mhm,
weirdest thing.
mhm,
And so you just sort of learn to go with it. I think that we also have to acknowledge that we each, all three of us, one, spring is emerging, and like Q1 is a reset time for everybody. But now you're going into Q2 where it's this like things are picking up and paces are picking up. And all of us have been in this space of like we've been exploring and figuring out what matters to us and making different life choices. And now that we have made those choices, we have started to reintroduce some aspects of our lives, largely professional, right? We felt like we reset our individual
mhm,
spaces. And so now, like, we all have sort of reintroduced some aspects of our professional lives that weren't there while we were discovering ourselves again. And so that's a little bit of a reset. And some like this week, I was just talking to a friend of mine, and I was like, one, I can't take this stuff on anymore. Two, I need to make a list of what I can get somebody else and like hire an assistant and get somebody else to take some of this stuff on. And part of me feels like, really, you're gonna hire an assistant, Rashida? But the other part of me is like,
Yeah.
or you can work yourself and destroy yourself. Like
right.
that's what people do. Like this is why there's a whole profession around it. And so figure that piece out and just continuing to pick up those things that as you add things, things have to go.
Mhm,
And so,
Yeah.
and it doesn't mean they go all the way away, but can they go and be handed to somebody? Like I upped the house cleaner to every week.
Yep.
mhm,
Part of that was because of the results of Zoe's allergy testing.
mm,
And part of that was because I don't want to clean it.
mhm,
Mhm.
I can keep the house straight and organized in between. But if you can come every week, that
mhm.
so that's what we do.
Right.
Yeah. I have, I'll pull it off. I don't know if you can really read it, but I have this little note that says alignment.
Oh,
I
I
have
see.
one on my computer and one on my TV. And so
Mm-hmm.
my challenge is whenever I have to make a choice, like it is kind of there to subconsciously remind me, is this in alignment with your goal? Right. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because sure, we can say yes to any number of things, or we can say no to any number, but if we're not making the next right choice, like you said, Nicole, last time, what does it matter? And so it's kind of
Yeah.
like my little tip to keep the big things in mind and recognize, like, let the little stuff fall away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I think we can often get roped into, like the devil's in the details. Like we can get, it's the little foxes you have to watch
Yeah.
out for. And so like, the things that, oh, sure, I can do that. That's not a problem. Like, well, then, you add 5 of those and it is a problem because now you don't have the time you need for yourself. So
One of the personal finance people I follow, he talks about people always asking $3 and $30 questions instead of $3,000 questions.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about it in the sense of like folks switching banks all the time to try to get a better interest rate. Like, good luck with that. Versus like, what are the habits that you can create to build wealth? And but I think that also matters. It resonates, and I'm running through my head a lot because I think it also matters in terms of like our lives. Like think about your lives in terms of the $3 and $30 questions versus the $3,000 questions. But think about it in the sense of time and what it gives you in terms of your values.
Right. I mean, because time is our,
Most precious
most
resource.
precious commodity, right? Like time
Exactly.
and health, right? So if we use those in place of monetary wealth, then yeah, it definitely still applies.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think, for me, I still have been trying to get to the bottom of the question of why I think I need to be busy all the time. I'm just a busy person. Because it's like, we have a house cleaner, and you can outsource all kinds of stuff, but I always manage to find other things that I just, I need to do. I need to reorganize this closet, and I need to, get Hope's room. Well, I need to do this, and I always find something, or let me go and let me organize this photo album, or there's always something. It's almost like I don't want to sit still, because maybe I'm not sure. This is what my gut tells me, but I haven't really fully tested the theory, which is like, if you just sit still and you really do nothing, what's going to come up?
Mm-hmm.
What demons are you going to have to deal with if you
right.
stop moving?
And and something will come up. Like,
right.
It does.
Which is uncomfortable, right? Yeah. Like, being busy is safe. Right. Being busy is safe, it's comfortable, it's what it's familiar. And I just haven't, I think, gotten the courage to not be busy.
Well, because also being busy feels like a badge of honor, right? Like, I'm good, busy.
So
it's been real busy. And it's like, but what do we
right
be busy?
Yeah.
And it's I actually consider it to be a bad habit of mine, because that is my typical answer. I'm good, just been real busy, but good, right? And like, I ain't that busy. I got enough stuff going on, but like, I can shut it. I can shut it down at 5. Quite frankly, I could shut it down at 2:00. Is the reality, right? But yet, it's important for us to be able to say, like, oh, I'm busy. Like, I had to say to myself yesterday, I looked at my calendar. We had a working session all yesterday morning with my business partners. But once I picked up Zoe from school, I didn't have anything on my calendar the rest of the day. And I was like, oh, cool. And so I decided to take her to go get her foot measured because she needs new shoes. And so we did that and just sort of hung out. But initially I was like, oh, well, since I don't have anything, well, maybe I should work on a couple of things before I go. Why? And then I had to say to myself, no, you won't. And I didn't. But it was literally like, you don't have to do that. And I think sometimes we equate busy with success and productivity. And we don't allow, like, if all we do is live quote unquote productive lives, are we living?
Yeah. But that's the human being versus the human doing, right? Yeah.
So one of my things last week was I started to feel the stress feeling that I was having before, right? But I realized, I was like, you're nowhere near as busy as you were, right? Like, you have ample time, like you have the schedule you wanted. And so I had to sit, and I was like, why do you feel stressed?
And what's the story you're telling yourself in your head?
I realized I felt stressed because, like, something would come in and I would be like, oh, let me make sure I respond to that immediately. Let me make sure that I'm doing that, and it was all like, I want to make sure it's all beyond reproach, but it was beyond like, I want to make sure it's a good work product. It was, I want it to be perfect so that everyone will be fine with the fact that I have this alternative work schedule and no one will be able to say anything. And I had to stop and tell myself, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be. And that's it, right? Like, you don't, like, and you're making yourself have this anxious feeling. And frankly, it is a feeling I am well familiar. It is something I know originated at like 14. And, the notion of having like a running list, and, 1/3 knows, like, we went to a high school where we had a thesis to write to graduate. So even when I was done with everything for the week, it was always in the back of my mind, you should be working on that. And I know that was like the genesis of this running list, like, you should always be on, like, even when you're down, there isn't that you're never done. And it just didn't stop from that point. And so I just had to tell myself, like, no, like, just sit, just be. If you're tired right now, go take a nap.
Yeah.
You will get it all done. Like, when have you never gotten it all done? There's never been a time.
There's never been a time. When have you ever? That's so good. When have you ever gotten it all done? And something you say when you talked about thinking about yourself back to 14, I started making lists probably at around 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
Like have had, I mean, my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I did it because I had a chaotic environment and childhood, and it was a way to have control.
Mm-hmm.
It was something I could control. It was something I could have ownership over. It was like, I can't control the stuff that's happening around here, but these things on this list, I can do these things. These are within my control, and I can feel like I'm safe in this list.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I still do it today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it'd be like, if I get good grades and my room is clean and I help make dinner and, you know, I'm exercising, so I'm not fat, or, you know, like, then nobody can, then any of the bad things that happen to me, I know are not the result of something I didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If something
Mhm.
goes awry, it's not because I slacked off and I didn't do
Right.
my part. Then I know for sure it wasn't me, it was something else. And I think I still carry that today.
I can
Yeah.
definitely see that. And I think, and I have done similar things. I think one of the things that kind of helped me was the law of attraction, you know, which is very much to me the Christian principle of ask, seek, and knock, right? But it's like shifting your focus instead of, I don't want this thing to happen, and focusing on what you don't want. It's really that manifesting what you do want, and, you know, letting go of the how, right? Like, yes, like, I'm going to show up, I'm going to do my part, but like the notion of like, I have to do it all, like, you know, like, yes, it feels, you know, like, you can know, like, I was perfect. I did everything you told me to do. So if it goes south,
It's not on me.
you look somewhere else, right? But that also puts a lot on our shoulders to have to do, and it also limits the pathways for something to happen, right? Because
Yes.
have in our mind, it's got to happen like this. And, you know,
Yes.
and someone described it, they were like, okay, so you're saying like, we got to get to like this palace, and there's one road to get to the palace. And they're like, you know, what if the whole team is stuck in different locations and they just can't, you know, they could easily get there, but they got to go through this road that you've carved out. Like, how's it gonna happen? Right? You know, like, you just made it infinitely more difficult. But if you know, we talked about losing attachment to the outcome. Like, if we can kind of let some grace enter into it and just, you know, be like, okay, this is the goal. I'm gonna be more open to how it can happen. It kind of takes some pressure off. And I think the other piece that's helped me is learning how to feel my emotions, because like, I'm good at like Disney movies and clean, you know, commercials, hallmarks, you know, like, oh, I'll get a good cleansing cry off of that in a heartbeat. But I realized I had to kind of like learn to leave my heart open and like let the feelings pass. Like, because when something's coming up and you know it's going to be uncomfortable, like I've started letting myself sit with it instead of trying to shut it down, because I've realized it's never as bad as I thought it was going to be, and it doesn't last nearly as, like, it doesn't last forever, right?
If
like,
you just let it ride. Yeah.
you're sad, but you're not sad for the rest of your life, right? Like, happiness can come in. Like, you're stressed, but you're not stressed forever. You're afraid, but you're not afraid forevermore. Like, that does not become who you are. It's something that passes, but when we don't let it pass, we take it with us all the time. So, I've decided I would rather not carry those things with me. I would rather leave them where they are and just see what happens next. So
which is kind of like, I don't know if we talked about it or not, but that stress response, like, we all think, if you stop the stress, then, you should be fine, but you actually have to get it, you have to ride it out, and emotions, you got to ride them out and let them, or they're just going to stay down in there, give you a stomach ache, like literal stomach ache, or a backache.
Right.
Because you're not letting,
Your body
they're
holds
trapped in your body. They're
Your
trapped
body
in your
holds
body.
everything. Your body will tell on you.
Seriously.
Every
Somebody said, like, if you think stress and emotions don't have physical manifestations, then explain crying to me. Like, explain crying. Like, crying is
That's so
clearly
beautiful.
a physical manifestation of emotion. And like, but it's not the only one, right? So like, you can have stuff like, there was an episode of Oprah like talking about getting a deep tissue massage, and she just started bawling because they hit a certain spot, and she was like, I don't know what memory I was holding in my shoulder blade, but it all broke loose.
It released everything. Yeah.
Right.
So A, y'all are making me want to go get a massage. B, I will say I am, starting small, is still starting to bring it back to Joey, the new dog.
Yeah.
My instinct is like, okay, Joey needs this, Joey needs that. I have really tried to Joey can come and love up on me all he wants, but like, it's the girls and Chris. I'm like, that's y'all's dog. Like, y'all do the dog. Because that's the funny thing about human nature, and this is not to say that people have bad intentions, but like, the more you take on, I mean, people aren't going to be like, oh no, don't do that. Right.
They're like, you got it? Cool.
Oh, okay. Because they, it's like, it just, if you, like, I just remember coming to work for the first time out of law school, and I was sick as a dog, and I was like, how come nobody's telling me to go home? Because they just, you need to be the captain of your own ship, to y'all's point. Like, nobody's going to come along and be like, okay, you need to sit down and relax. You know what I mean? Like, you have to take ownership of yourself. Like, I'm talking to me now. You have to take ownership of yourself. And so what my last sort of question to you guys is, we have these like accountability partners for like diets and exercise and goals and all these things. What if we had what if we were like accountability partners for, you could call it self-care, but I don't necessarily mean like massages and candles and that sort of stuff. I really mean like, are you unplugging? Are you taking time for yourself?
Yeah.
Like checking in and saying, how did you do this week? What did you do to advance that goal?
Wow. Yeah.
So maybe we could try that.
I like that. I posted a quote a friend of mine shared last week. I don't know if y'all saw it, and it was like, self-care isn't massages and chocolate, it is building a life you don't have to escape from.
I did see that. So good.
I love that. I was like,
so good. Because y'all are right. It ain't never gonna. It's not gonna stop. But so yeah, how can you frame it and shape it to best serve you?
yeah.
And I saw that, and I also was like, and also a life you don't want to escape from, right?
Exactly.
It's a life you enjoy.
Right. Yeah.
This is happening now. This is not a dress rehearsal. Life is happening now.
No.
Like I always
This is
say,
it.
you're gonna miss it. Like Ferris Bueller said, if you don't stop and look around every once in a while, you just might miss it.
Ferris Bueller is always an appropriate quote. Always.
I love to Matthew Broderick. I mean, that was just a piece of cinematic genius. That film was so good.
Masterpiece.
Speaking about movies, it's funny that we could kind of wind this up. Last night, or it was even yesterday, earlier in the day, or maybe the day before, Hope had on the soundtrack to The Greatest Showman. Have y'all seen that movie? It's such a good movie. And I was like, we've seen this movie a bunch of times. I was like, I want to watch the movie. It's my night to choose. I was like, so we watched The Greatest Showman, and like I said to y'all, I actually finished all my work, right? Like I don't have to work this weekend, and so my mind was clear. And I realized in watching that movie last night, I mean, we must have seen this movie 5 times by now. I've been seeing it, but I have not been watching it. I've seen it so many times, and I'm like, how did I miss all of like not just little things, like tons of the movie, just whole sections of the movie. I'm like, I don't know where I was or what I was doing, but it's just again like this notion of like, wake up, your life is right now. You only have this moment, right?
Yeah.
You don't, the past is gone and the future you can't control. So, you just got now, be
That's
in
the
it.
present. Right.
I love it.
Be in
I
it.
love it.
Well, this was pretty good for not having a plan.
Thoughtful show with no plan. Go us.
I mean, it's the magic of the thirds.
It's the magic of the third.
I love you.
And we helped ourselves, which is important.
I know. Now we're all gonna check it, and we have to report back on many
We
things.
will
next
report that.
month.
Yeah.
Cool sculpting, back help, and whether we got our lives together.
Oh, and the foot thing. I'll
foot
check
detox.
back on the foot thing.
Yes, please, and tell me if they give it for dogs. All right, love you guys.
Love you.
All right, bye.